Hello everybody, this is Kayla and I am back with another video, and today I am going to be doing a Copic speed paint of my new OC Rosalyn. So for the skin, I'm using E000 and E11 as the shader, and let's get started. Alright, so I don't know really what inspired this character. I guess I just wanted to make something that used a lot of color. So that is what I did. Everything is full of color, but first we have to start off with the skin tone. So like I said, I used E000 as the base because I like how light it is, but it's not too pale. And then I used E11 as the shading color because they really complement each other and they blend together very easily. As everybody should know, we just had Christmas, and so for Christmas I got the Copic Sketch 24 basic color set, and that is where pretty much all of the colors from this picture come from. I did use a Copic or two from a different set that I had, but I guess that is kind of why I wanted to use a lot of color. I just wanted to be able to test out and use a lot of my new ones on this piece. Alright guys, so I'm going to be moving on to the blush, and for this I used RV00 and R43. I really like how both of these combined makes a really intense blush, and if you look at a lot of my artwork, I like to use a lot of intense blush. I don't know, it's part of my style. I think it makes it really cutesy and fun. It also makes the face look less pale. Alright guys, so now I am moving on to the base of the shirt, and for this I used Blue Violet or BV000 and Blue Violet or BV11. These two blended so nicely together. I cannot even tell you. I had so much fun doing the shirt, and I had a lot of fun doing the clothing wrinkles. I don't know why, but it was just so much fun for me. The shirt also kind of took a long time, but I don't mind. I think it turned out really well, and it was one of my favorite things that I colored in this drawing at the end. While testing out these Copics, initially when I was doing their first swatches, I got reminded of this one story at Michael's. So it was January of 2022, and I decided to buy some new Copic markers. So me and my sister picked out 4 nice ones that we wanted to get, 2 of which were skin tones, and we were very excited to use them. Now here is a reason why you should not buy, at least from my experience, individual Copic markers from Michael's or a place like Michael's. In stores like those, everybody gets to just test out what markers they like and see if they like the shades, and that I do agree with. However, so many people have tested out the markers before it comes to you that the ink on my skin tone was completely dried out. And on top of that, they didn't even give us half of the Copics we paid for. We paid for 4, they gave us 2, and we didn't realize until we were all the way home. So I did not really have a pleasant experience from that. So from my personal experience, I would recommend buying a set, even a smaller one, or even like a 3-pack, rather than buying a individual marker, because it was completely dried out and now I have to buy a refill, which I do not want to do. I am going to be working on the skirt now, and to do the skirt, like I showed you, I'm going to be using the blush tones, so that includes RV00 and R43. These two are a little bit harder to blend just because the lighter pink is quite a bit lighter than the darker pink, but I made it work, and in the end, I think it turned out pretty well. Here's a fun fact. When I was trying to get the camera propped up for this video, it was such a challenge. I tried to prop it up really high, but then the angle was completely wrong, and then in the end it resorted to me using my phone on top of a big pack of colored pencils being held up by a candle in a glass jar. So it was kind of a process to get the angle that you see here, but it worked out. I think it turned out pretty well, and you'll have to let me know what you think. Also, I just realized my hair is totally in the camera right now. Oh my gosh. You can really see here just how much harsher that second shade of pink is compared to the first one, but since Copics are such high quality, they really do blend together very nicely, and it did work out pretty easily in the end, but it was a little bit of work to get there. I also wasn't actually sure how to shade ruffles. I'm still kind of figuring out clothes wrinkles and things like that, and so I didn't really know where to add shadow. I probably added it completely wrong, but I did my best, and I think I have an idea for next time, but we'll see. So now you've you see, I've kind of added this dark pink line across the skirt because originally I thought maybe the shadow would have kind of landed there, but then I think I ended up being completely wrong. And now in a desperate attempt to save the skirt, I just started adding kind of shadow everywhere. Not sure if this is correct or not, but this is what I did, and in the end it turned out pretty well, but I really needed my lighter pink tone to completely blend out this color because it was not looking good, let me tell you. It was not looking good. Here you can see I'm using B12 and B000 to do some blue on the collar of the shirt. And I have not really used these markers before like I was telling you, and they were really, really juicy. Also, sorry the camera got out of focus. I didn't realize that happened until I fixed it. But anyway, you can see here I was using this dark blue marker and I was noticing it was really, really juicy. And then finally, disaster struck. It made a big blue dot on my art, but I just had to kind of move on. I didn't really know how to fix it. I guess I just kept adding color until you kind of couldn't see it anymore, but it did end up sticking around till the end because I wasn't sure how to get rid of it. If anybody knows if there's a way to prevent this, let me know. I just think it's because it's a brand new marker and it hasn't been used before. It's kind of very, very full, but I don't know. As you can see, I started on the hair. So for the hair, I used Y00 as the base and Y02 as one of the shaders, but you'll see later on I did use a couple more colors to do some more shading on the hair just because Y02 was not as dark as I thought it was going to be. It was pretty light even compared to the lighter yellow, so I did have to bring in a darker yellow from a different Copic set, which you can see here, and that color was Y13. I did also kind of make a mistake when I was shading this hair. I wanted to leave kind of a strip of white going across the hairline because I wanted to make it look like there was shine coming off of it, and I kind of forgot, so I had to just work with shading to make it look better, but that is why I needed to incorporate some darker colors because with my basic two colors, it was not going to do the trick. And I ended up having to even grab a gray to do some more shading, and it did turn out pretty nicely in the end, but it was a little bit strange going through the process. I just wasn't sure what colors to pick because I have 3 yellows currently and I couldn't seem to find one that was dark enough, so finally I had to bust it out and grab W1. You can see my hands kind of deciding there what to grab, and as you can see, there it is. And the camera's out of focus again. I really need to be checking this more than I was because I would have finished the entire drawing like this if I hadn't checked it when I did. It's each time that I filmed the cap numbers, it like focused on the caps and then it would like stop focusing on the drawing and I had to keep like tapping the screen to get it back to the point. But finally, I got it back and here we are. You can also see how that warm gray was actually doing a pretty good job shading in comparison to the pale yellows, and I like how it turned out. It did leave enough differentiation between where the shine should have been and how I had accidentally colored over it. It also did nicely shading the back of the hair and the little wispies. Now I'm coloring the eyes. So I absolutely love to color in eyes. I did them a little bit differently this time, and to color them in, I used G000 and G02, and they completely looked perfect. They complemented each other so well, and they looked so light and beautiful in the end. Also, please excuse my mistake here. I thought that I was coloring in the frame and I was coloring in her knee-high socks, but I, after a while, realized that I was completely out of the picture and you couldn't even see what I was doing, and I'm so sorry. It was only then, after I had finished them, that I realized they weren't in the frame, and here we go, real time for a second. Look how long it took me to color in that one bow. I don't understand why it took so long, but it definitely did. Finally finishing up with the last finishing touches, I colored in the rest of the bows. As added the highlights in the eyes, which I love to do, by the way. I added some highlights on the cheeks and the nose, added some sparkles, and we're done. Alright everybody, that's it for today's video. I hope you liked my new OC Rosalyn, and let me know if you would like more videos like this. Goodbye!